Day 2 at SEC Football Media Days has wrapped up, and 3 teams went yesterday, 4 teams went today, as we're midway through the SEC Football Media Days in 2023 here in Nashville, Tennessee at the Grand Hyatt Nashville. Hey, I'm Vince Ferrara. Thanks so much for taking in all of our content this week as we are live on Radio Row. All 4 of our shows are live with updates, and 3 of them are here from Nashville on Radio Row. Plus, we got the great Jimmy Himes on hand as well. Boy, is Jimmy pumping out the interviews. My goodness. Here's the list of who he talked to just in day 2 today from Media Days. Peter Burns, Paul Feinbaum, Brad Nessler, Jenny Dell, David Cutcliffe, Dari Noka, Gary Stokan, Rick Neuheisel, Derek Mason. Other than that, he had his feet up and he was just kind of hanging out, kicked back and listening to the press conferences. But man, Jimmy is busting it. He does this like no other. One of the media members said he's the go to this thing, and he has proven it today with all the interviews. He proves it every day. I had a chance to talk to Gary Danielson from CBS as well. He said, if you're going to buy stock in the SEC, it should be on Tennessee. So really interesting stuff. We will play that Gary Danielson interview on Sports Talk tomorrow morning, 6 to 9 a.m. with John Wilkerson and myself. But you'll hear more of these interviews the entire week. And of course, we are now 1 day away on Thursday from Tennessee, wrapping things up along with Ole Miss and South Carolina here at SEC Football Media Day. So some of the other things that were noteworthy from today, we had Vanderbilt and Georgia go. We heard Clark Lee again talk about striving for the ultimate success. He has not backed down for that. And he says you got to put in the work for that, but he said there's no reason why Vanderbilt isn't capable of having the highest level of success. And he said they have as good a team as they have had in his 2 years so far. Got that contract extension as well in Nashville. Georgia, of course, Kirby Smart took a lot of questions on all of the legal issues they've had. A lot of speeding tickets, citations. The speeding has been something that has been going on at Georgia for a long time, and Kirby Smart kind of pointed that out. He said, we actually don't have more this year than we've had in years past. That's alarming, but maybe that is the truth. But he said, look, it is concerning, and it's something that we are addressing and trying to get for everybody's safety, including the players, trying to get those speeds down and keep everybody safe. We'll see if he can do that. But, you know, he handled it overall well, but he fielded plenty of those questions about that. But it is a concern about the culture aspect of it. Thought the players handled it pretty well when they took those questions on that subject and saying, hey, Brock Bowers said, hey, I think our culture is really good. Guys made mistakes, but that doesn't mean that we don't have a good culture here at Georgia. Then in the afternoon session, we heard from Auburn, Hugh Freeze talking about the turnover on his roster. He's had success in the first year and years past at his other stops, but he's got over 40 new players on this year's roster. So that's maybe a little bit of a concern on how he could potentially get some success and wins in his first year. He also talked about sort of a superstition that he has, that if things aren't going well at halftime, he makes his offensive line coach change all of their clothes. And that's had success in the past, I guess, and that might be something they continue to do in the future. And then Zach Arnett, also a first-year head coach at Mississippi State, of course, taking over for Mike Leach, tragically lost his life in the offseason or at the end of last season. And he said, look, Mike Leach is a first-ballot Hall of Famer. His DNA is within our walls. The things he says, the words of wisdom, we still say it, and it's still critical to our success. So, and he also downplayed the change in the offense. A lot of people have said, oh, you're going away from the air raid, going to do more of a pro style or traditional type of offense. He said it's about the players, not about the play call and the offense. So he downplayed that aspect in the transition. It's something that honestly is a concern for a number of us that have seen them have success in that wide open offense that kind of tailors to their roster. All right, day 3 on Wednesday, we'll hear from Alabama, Nick Saban, and I think the best trio of players out of anyone here this week at SEC Football Media Days. You have 3 All-American candidates, Dallas Turner, Kool-Aid McKinstry, and J.C. Latham for Alabama. Arkansas bringing a pretty strong group as well, including K.J. Jefferson, might be the best quarterback in this league, and also Rocket Sanders, a running back as well, with Sam Pittman, always very entertaining. We'll see if Sam Pittman sings with Jimmy Himes. He did that last year on our station. And then the afternoon session will be Florida with Billy Napier. Of course, people want to know why they haven't had more success or when they're going to have that success. Things have picked up in recruiting. We'll see what Billy Napier has to say. And then Mark Stoops in Kentucky will be in that afternoon session as well. Please go to our central page on our website. It's got all of our audio interviews. It's got video interviews. You get a video tour of Radio Row, where I'm at right now. And then so many interviews that Jimmy Himes did, my Gary Danielson interview, and so much more from SEC Football Media Days. And that's at 991thesportsanimal.com, right front and center on the central page. You can also see all of our sponsors, 10 of them that made our coverage possible. Please support them, because they were able to help get us here. And then you can subscribe to our SEC Football Media Days feed wherever you get your podcast. All the links are right there as well, so you can go to that one-stop shop to get all of it. And follow us on all our social media accounts at SportsAnimal991. You can follow me on Twitter at Vince Sports. So 6 a.m. Eastern, 5 a.m. Central. It's an early wake-up call here, Central Time in Nashville, Tennessee. John Wilkerson and I will be on hand, and we'll recap in even more detail what happened yesterday and what's to come in the last 2 days at SEC Football Media Days. Halfway home at the Grand Hyatt Nashville, which has done a great job hosting us and all the media here for this great kickoff event. That'll do it from Nashville for Day 2's wrap-up. I'm Vince Ferrara. Talk to you tomorrow morning here on 99.1, The Sports Animal.